We can look at nothing as a miracle or everything as a miracle. We can look at the fact that this is the same room that I grew up teaching my dolls and lining them up on their little chairs in front of the chalkboard so that I could teach them. And that was all I wanted to do. But what else I wanted to do was be a cashier. I wanted to be able to sprinkle magic on someone's day unsuspectingly without them having to have a certain position in order for them to qualify to have a conversation with me. I wanted to just be able to bless everyone when I was little because I saw the value in people. I always have. It's part of who I am. It's part of my DNA. And what I say is that is because it is the Christos DNA within my cells. It is the Christ consciousness that I am here to awaken. It is time for us to realize that each of us are potential ascended masters, with the potential to become arhats first, which are ones who have mastered themselves. This is a journey of transformation through the sacred sojourn of the soul that each of us are going through, and we must go through the depths, the innermost cave on our own, but we can certainly have cheerleaders along the edges to be able to support us and shout down to us when we're in the valley of transformation. You can do it! Yes, I believe in you! Because sometimes we just need to meet the one that believes in us enough for us to actually believe in ourselves, because that is what is required in this life. And unfortunately, we have created this sick system that is based on keeping us playing small for the sake of fitting in and staying in line with the herd mentality that would be status quo if we just really looked at the fact that most people go to a job that they absolutely hate to trade their souls, their very lives, for something that will help them buy things. No offense. If that's how you choose to be, by all means, carry on if it delights and excites you. But if it doesn't, why not? And what are you willing to do about it? That's the question that we have to ask ourselves. It is time for us to move into alignment, not just action. It is time for us to take aligned action that is in harmony with the divine plan, the one that we are here to individually express as the individuated expressions of the grand overall designer that we came from, will return to, and are a part of the entire time, just looking at ourselves through the mirrors of we, each other, who are all in this together, and we are stronger when we come together. We are stronger when we are willing to go within in order to make sure we don't go without. We are stronger when we understand who we are and whose we are. This is not a religious message, and I am not a religious figure. I am not someone who has ever been able to align myself with any one institution or church or religion. I simply have never been able to align and agree with everything in anything. Even groups, I've never been able to remain a group member for longer than the relationship that bought me entry into it, oftentimes through my exes, or even the friendships. Many of those broke down for various reasons, and I couldn't understand why. But each of those people were teachers for me, and I for them. And so I'm grateful if you were one of them. And if I in any way have hurt you over the years, I am sorry. I would love to have a conversation respectfully, but respect is required. In order to have an engagement with someone, you have to have respect as the foundation. If not, there will not be appreciation, acceptance, and understanding, which is the triangle of empowered relationships. We have to have trust at the very foundation. Respect being how we buy trust. Trust is earned. Respect is earned. It is not freely given, but can be demanded by ones in power if we give too much of our power away. And that was what I learned through the 4 years it took for me to be able to write a book that I started working on next month. The one that begins tomorrow, so not very far away at all. It is the end of March, and I am grateful for everything that I went through in order to gain the awareness to be able to finally see things in the way that I do. I am grateful beyond measure that I didn't give up on myself. And I am grateful that I hung on long enough to understand that I am here to be a lighthouse for other lighthouses. What I say is that there are 144,000 of us that have came here in order to do the work. We are Chelas of the light, students of the path of ascension, who have come here to remember who we are, whose we are, and why we're here, to ignite the spark within others, to cut through and pierce as many energy veils as we can possibly do without necessarily sacrificing the vessel. Because ultimately our soul is riding inside of the body that is ours, just only for as long as it is. And if we allow other things to overtake our natural DNA, the Christos God consciousness within our own very selves, then we are actually penetrated and corrupted by the evil, where the snakes enter the energy den of you, before they then blew themselves to smithereens, because there were just too many of them, like the mite that is on the face and grows but has no way to get rid of its own excrement. And so over time, as it eats and it festers and grows, because it cannot do anything but explode. When it finally does, that's left on our face. Ugh, gross. Blah, blah, blah. That was something that I saw on Facebook this morning, and it's just one of those interesting facts that you're like, ooh, I wish I didn't know that. But here we are. So now that you've heard that one too, it's true. We got to get rid of what no longer serves us, or we will explode. Or what will actually happen is our lives will seemingly implode on ourselves, and suddenly we will have more of a mess than we ever understood. It is time for me to move on to the next message, and to keep them shorter and sweeter. And to also not be doing everything that I was doing to build community before I had the offering that would allow you to actually come with me on the journey into yourself, to go inward. It's a journey that no one wants to nor should take alone without some kind of guide. And so I have been working on putting together one for you to ensure that you are not alone, and that you do have support, and you are able to actually know what comes next. And it's not just about being really busy for the sake of adding value that doesn't add the value it could because it wasn't organized. Because as John Maxwell says, fail to plan, plan to fail. Plan to fail for a really long time, folks. Let me be true. Let me be honest. And then let me say that it is a new month next month. This is the message that marks the end of the one that helped me come to a new realization of who I truly am and what I came here to do. And to be able to stand powerfully in that, and to say that yes, I am a sovereign woman. And I sit in this moment, but I stand proudly as a representative of the light. And I invite you to come along on the journey into yourself with me. So if you would like to develop a special practice for Peaceful Inner Warriors United, I would love for you to be part of the movement. And I'm going to be launching a pilot program tomorrow, April 1st, where we're actually going to go into what it means to have a special practice. And I hope sincerely that you will come with me on that journey, and very much look forward to being able to share that experience with you. Adieu. Lorje. Namaste. Namago.